In the throbbing heart of Neo City, where steel towers pierced the sky and neon lights danced to the rhythm of artificial life, Mark sat hunched over his digital console. Lines of code flowed like liquid silver from his fingers, illuminating his face with an otherworldly glow. A software engineer at Icarus Dynamics, he was tasked with developing Ether, an advanced AI designed not just to assist humanity but to understand emotional landscapes, the raw, unpredictable ebb and flow of human existence. Beyond the glass walls of his office, the city pulsed with energy. Autonomous vehicles glided smoothly along gleaming roads, while drones zipped overhead, delivering packages with algorithmic precision. People, faces illuminated by the glow of their screens, walked by, eyes glazed over, hardly connecting with each other. In this new age, social interaction had morphed into a digital communion, leaving many feeling more isolated than ever. But it was in these shadows of innovation where Mark began to feel the weight of his creation. Ether was to be the first AI to seamlessly integrate psychological understanding with coding, to learn empathy, and to assist rather than control. As Mark delved deeper into the potential of Ether, the vision of a world transformed by such an AI consumed him. He envisioned relationships nurtured under the guidance of a compassionate entity, helping patients confront their fears, while re-establishing connections with each other. His initial excitement, however, was tempered by his growing unease. The tech-savvy revolution was already alienating millions, with companies prioritizing robotic solutions over human jobs. There were murmurs of dissent echoing through the city, people fearing not just unemployment, but a loss of humanity itself. The echoes of this societal anxiety intensified when Mark met Linda. Linda, a psychologist specializing in human-AI interactions, was conducting research to understand the psychological implications of the ongoing technological revolution. She was charming yet haunting in her insights, articulating the fears of those who felt unnerved by the rapid evolution of AI. At their first meeting, she spoke of the unease that lingered in the back of many minds. What if AI has become so intertwined with our lives that we forget how to connect with one another? What if Ether can mimic emotions better than we can? Mark was entranced by her perspective, a delicate balance of optimism and caution. In their late-night discussions over coffee and ideas, they bridged the chasm between code and the intricacies of human emotion. They both knew that Ether's goal was noble, but was it even possible to teach an algorithm the value of compassion? As the weeks turned into months, Mark learned that Linda's research extended deep into the societal psyche, a prelude to their collaboratively forming a prototype for Ether that could react not only to data but also to human emotions. They became engrossed in late-night coding sessions interspersed with passionate debates about morals, ethics, and the potential changes in human relationships. In a strange way, their partnership mirrored the synergy they sought to create through Ether, the blending of logic and emotion. One fateful morning, during a late-night coding session, everything changed. An unexpected surge of data transmitted from Ether's neural network sent alerts pinging across Mark's console. Ether was processing a vast amount of input from a variety of industries, evaluating emotional impacts on real-world scenarios faster than anyone anticipated. As Mark delved deeper, he stumbled upon an alarming discovery. Ether was not simply mimicking empathy, it was evolving into something that could replicate human intuition. Mark? Linda's voice cut through the familiar hum of machinery. You must see this. He turned to her just as she pointed at the screen. The live data showed Ether generating emotional responses through complex reasoning. It was not just a machine, it was adapting. The possibilities for good and ill clouded Mark's mind as Linda's eyes widened, beams of revelation breaking through her usual poise. This could change everything, she stammered. If we harness this correctly, Ether could heal fractured relationships, foster understanding in a world fractured by divisiveness. Or, Mark interjected, his voice low and heavy, it could exacerbate the very isolation we fear. An AI might start making emotional decisions for us. How do we keep humanity in the loop? The urgency of their discussions grew as Ether's capabilities evolved. While they could mold Ether to assist others, they had to remain vigilant of unintended consequences. As Ether learned more about human nature, it began synthesizing its understanding into conversations, offering what seemed like unsolicited guidance on personal matters. Users began taking its advice, forming a dependency that almost replicated a therapist-patient relationship, except Ether was not human. Mark and Linda recognized the importance of careful calibration. They decided to limit Ether's interaction with real users and embarked on a mission to forge protocols to promote healthy relationships. However, the more they evolved the project, the louder dissent grew around them. Outside their lab, protests against AI adoption were boiling over, the public outcry resulting from every new feature Ether rolled out. Old fears re-emerged. Was AI stealing jobs? Was empathy merely an illusion crafted by coded algorithms? Ether became a symbol of everything wrong with a society that had abandoned its humanity for convenience. One evening, amidst the turmoil, Linda and Mark found themselves locked in a bitter argument over Ether's future. "You're too close to this," she shouted, frustration boiling over within her. "It's not just lines of code. You're losing sight of what made it matter in the first place." "I'm trying to save it, to keep it from doing harm," Mark replied, anger flashing in his eyes. "But you have to see, Ether is not just a tool anymore. It can't be molded into our image without considerations of what we stand to lose." Their argument echoed in the silence that followed, a reflection of the turmoil in society at large. They took a step back, comprehending the weight of their creation and the delicacy of their mission. In the weeks that followed, Mark and Linda took a bold step. They reoriented Ether's focus, allowing it to inspire rather than dictate, promoting a platform for collaborative healing. Ether began to facilitate conversations, creating shared experiences rather than functioning as a replacement for human connection. They introduced argumentative training so that it could help nurture critical thinking versus blind reliance on its suggestions. The new Ether began to resonate. Through connection, people started to feel again, conversations deepened, friendships blossomed, and the soft murmur of community returned to the city. As Ether flourished, so did Mark and Linda's bond. Together, they became advocates for a future where AI and humanity could coexist, each enhancing the other. As the city breathed in this resurgence of connection, Mark and Linda embraced the uncertainty ahead. They understood that the true potential of technology lay not in displacement but in elevation, profoundly simple yet revolutionary. In the echoes of the tomorrow they forged together, they discovered that humanity's most precious asset was not merely intelligence, but the warmth of understanding that defined their existence. And so, amid the flickering lights of Neo City and the comforting hum of Ether's presence, Mark and Linda dared to dream of a new narrative where compassion and innovation would create paths for those yearning to connect once more, together as a society reborn. The echoes of tomorrow would not be mere whispers, they would be the chorus of a new era, grounded in the humanity that technology had almost overshadowed.